So you just downloaded Raid Shadow Legends, or you haven't downloaded yet, and you're going to by scanning this QR code right up here, and it'll get you some free stuff. That QR code will get you, with downloading it, 200,000 extra silver, champion Teleria, 1 energy refill, 1 day XP booster, and 1 epic skill tome. After you hit level 25, you'll get another 200,000 silver, a redactor Drath champion, which is huge, 1 energy refill, 1 day XP booster, and 1 epic skill tome. So make sure you download it. But if you've already downloaded the game, then don't worry. Hopefully these tips will still help you. If you're new to Raid, then hopefully these tips will help you even more, because these are going to be tips that I wish I knew when I was starting the game. So let's take a look and run through everything. So if you don't have the game already, or if you do, then here's a champion you're going to want to get. You're going to want to get Kale. Now, I don't have Kale because I started with Elhain. Kale and Elhain are starter heroes. There are 2 others. I'm blanking on their names right now, but they're not as important, so don't worry about them. I picked Elhain. I didn't know any of this going in. I didn't know Kale was the best starting hero, but I've heard from multiple people that he is. So go with Kale. Elhain, the reason I picked her was because I felt bad for her. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see the starting scene, she gets eaten by a dragon.
Easy, everyone. Every dragon has a weak spot. If I can hit it just right.
I felt bad, so I was like, you know what, I'll pick her. She had a rough go about, let's give her a second chance for redemption. So I picked her. She's still fine though, so that's fine. Now, what you're gonna wanna do, first tip, is max out your starting hero as quickly as possible. What does it mean to max them out? Each hero can go up to 6 stars. Currently, I have Elhain at 5 stars, and you can see they're purple, and then there are other stars that are just yellow. We'll talk about the difference in those in 1 sec. But so upgrade their level. So at 4 stars, they go up to level 40. 5 stars, they go up to level 50. 6 stars, they go up to level 60. So it goes up in increments of 10 of each star that you gain for it. So there's that. Ranks. When it comes to upgrading their ranks, you need to sacrifice champions that have an equal star rank or star rank to the champion you're trying to upgrade. So if I want to upgrade Elhain, I need to get 5-star champions to sacrifice to get her up to level 6 or rank 6. Chickens do count. These rank chickens, they're just like little freebies. They're like wild cards. So to upgrade a champion from 4, let me actually pick a champion that I could showcase here. To upgrade it to 4, you need to sacrifice 4 4-star heroes. No, we don't want to do that. But just as an example, yeah. So I have stuff on these champions, but so basically you need to upgrade 4 4-stars to upgrade a champion to the next rank. Simple enough. Their skills. When it comes to their skills, you get these things called tomes. Now each champion has a rarity. The champion rarity, you don't want to spend a higher tome on a lower ranked champion. So if I have epic skill tomes, I'm not going to spend it on a rare champion. I would spend epic skill tomes on an epic champion because they're harder to come by. You want to make sure that you're using the resources onto the equivalent rarity. So that's super important. Ascension. When it comes to it, you'll get these things called potions. We'll talk about those in a bit and where you can get them. But that's what increases their yellow stars to purple stars. But the purple stars increase their base stats. So for War Maiden, actually fine to upgrade her. You can see it uses potions and these potions. So these are arcane and these are force. So I can ascend, and now her base stats have increased. She has more attack and more defense. Great. So I can do it again. I have enough. Let's do it. Boom. Now she has more attack and more defense. So you want to ascend champions, and then you can also upgrade their skills. So I have a rare skill tome here. I have another rare skill tome here. So I have 2 rare skill tomes. She's a rare hero or champion, so that's fine. Let's upgrade. Everything costs silver in this game. We'll talk about that in a minute. Damage 5% for her skill there. And then I think she also got this crumbling blast increase. So these are her skills, and use the skill tomes to upgrade skills. So you want to do that on your main champion and max them out as quickly as possible. Next is you want to focus on 1 to 2 champion upgrades at a time. So right now, as you can see, I'm focusing on War Maiden and Elhain. These two, War Maiden is a very, very solid rare hero from what I've been described to. And her abilities are very solid. She has ferocious attack, attacks one enemy, but also has a 30% chance of placing a 2.5 poison debuff for 1 turn. Pretty solid. She has an opportunity strike. This attacks one enemy and places a 50% increase attack buff on this champion and places an extra hit if this attack is critical. The extra hit cannot be critical. Really cool skills that she has there. And then Crumbling Blast attacks all enemies and has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, which means the enemy's defense is less, which means you can do more damage. So, War Maiden, very good hero, a champion early on when starting. So, great hero there. And then epics, I only have 2 epics. So, and I don't think either of these are very good. So these are the 2 that I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on Elhain and I'm focusing on War Maiden. Next up, find your team in PvP and PvE. There's a term that you'll hear a lot if you watch other creators that is called a nuker. Basically, nuker is somebody who does the most damage on the team. So that's going to be like Kayle, Elhain, and then you have a debuffer, which is going to be someone like War Maiden. And then you want to get somebody who is a speed booster. Speed booster will help you increase your speed, which allows you to attack more. I do not believe I have any speed boosters. Does War Priest boost speed? I don't believe she does. No, she just does turn and everything like that. I don't really have a speed booster yet, but I will let you know when I do. But that's typically that. And then a healer, that would be someone like a War Priest, where she can also freeze and heals a target ally, and then everything like that. Shaman also has a revives an ally. So Shaman's not the best, but if you do have her, I think you get her for free. If you do have her, not the end of the world. Just still an epic champion. So, you know, you can use her for a little bit, but she's not going to be a late game champion at all. Don't grade your champions based on rarity. That's going to be tip 4. There can be value in upgrading lower champions while you're working on building legendaries long term. So like these 2 right here, great rare champions, not going to be super great endgame. Maybe Elhain will be. War Maiden probably going to be more mid game from what I've seen. So you can focus on upgrading these while you build up your other ones, and don't worry about putting your resources into these champions because you need to put resources into them so that way you can progress through the game and progress further along. So don't be afraid to do that. 5th tip, playing the game daily can yield great rewards. Seems pretty straightforward. You'll have these on a day-to-day basis. Play for 5 minutes, you get some silver. Play for 20 minutes, you get a mystery shard. Play for 40 minutes, you get an arcane boost. If you're playing on PC, you can get Polarium points, which will help. We'll talk about that in a bit. 60 minutes, you can get a restore energy, which gives you your full energy back, and so on. These are classic arena tokens, which we'll talk about the arena in a bit. But to log in, do your dailies, complete the campaign as quickly as possible. You don't have to worry about getting 3 stars on it immediately. Just go through and complete it and work on getting the resources, and then we'll talk about different artifacts and everything like that in a bit. So play the campaign. Play in arenas regularly. So right now I don't have tag team or live arena. Those unlock at higher levels. I'm currently only level 32, but when it comes to classic arena, just play in it. It's not that difficult once you start getting the hang of things. You build your team, you set a team on defense, or somebody sets a team on defense. You go in, you attack, you finish your battles with your team, and you move on about your day. I actually might lose this. Yep, that is Kayle. As you can see, Kayle is very strong, and I'm going to lose this arena battle as I'm focusing on. That's another tip. Even if you lose arena battles, don't be afraid to play in them, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You lose some points, but you're starting the game. It's not the end of the world. You don't really have to worry about it. So do your arena battles. There's no harm in doing something that you get for free anyway. And then playing dungeons. Dungeons are super important. I believe you unlock this at level 15 or 20. But when you unlock dungeons, definitely do them. These keeps right here, this will get you the potions, which will help you ascend your champions. So when these are open, you can see it says open this Sunday, opens this Friday, opens this Thursday. So if you know you're going to want something, make sure you grind for when it's available. It kind of resets on a weekly basis. Mark it on your calendar or something. If you're like, I really need spirit potions for this, you can also spend gems for it. Not worth it. Don't do that. And then these are always open. Spider's Den, fantastic way to get gold, silver, excuse me, and accessories. Accessories, very good. XP brews, also very good. These rings, amulet, and banners, we'll talk about that in a sec. But that's a great way to do that. Spider Den, heard it's the best way to farm silver, so do that. Capitalize on the XP boost. That's going to be tip number 6. XP boost, you'll see these things with this little banner. It says XP. The amount of XP your champion earns in battle is increased by 100%. So you basically get double. Right now I have this for a week. I've been playing for 2 weeks at the time I'm recording this video, exactly. And I still have a week left. So you just get a ton of XP boosters. So really just capitalize on it, upgrade them, use them, because remember when we talked about upgrading your champions, and you need champions of equal rarity or equal rank to upgrade them? That's what the XP is going to be used for. It's going to be used for getting food. Food is all these champions you see here. These will essentially just be used to put into these higher champions so that I can upgrade them. So I'm working on getting a bunch of common and uncommon, these green and white borders. I'm working on getting a bunch of these, as you can see here, these two. I'm working on getting a bunch of these to rank 5 so that I can use them to rank up Elhain. So they are essentially food. I'm feeding them to my higher champion. So using the XP boost will definitely help you be able to get as much food as possible. Turn order matters. That's tip number 7. So when we're talking about turn order, when you come into a battle, you'll see this thing right here. Let me actually go to the spider dungeon or spider's den here, and let's do this. So you see right here, this matters. So this is your leader. So you can see right here, this is your leader. If you're doing, this is more so important for like arena and PvP and stuff like that. Your turn order matters. So put your speed booster first, right? So if there's a speed booster, I'd put them here because then it boosts the speed, which lets everybody else on your team attack. Then you want your debuffer. Then you want your nuker. And then you can do these right here. Whatever it is, whether it's the support, the healer, another debuffer. Typically, multiple debuffers doing different things is pretty solid. You don't really need multiple speed boosters, but that will help. So that's like the order that you want to do. You want to do this like kind of zigzag pattern, and that will help out quite a bit. Tip number 8 is what buffs should you look for early to mid game? Well, it's going to be strength and ally protection. Those are going to be the buffs that you're looking out for, which is why War Maiden is such a solid early game champion, because, let me go to War Maiden. You can see here that she has a debuff here, and she also decreases and then increases the attack on this champion. So increasing is going to be great. So that's going to be strength, and then support here, increasing max HP, placing duration, increase attack buff. War Priest also going to be a very good early game support. Shaman, again, she can increase crit rate on all allies. She can revive allies. She can remove a random buff from the target on the enemy team. So she is going to be a very strong strengthen and ally protection based support. And then also you want ones like War Maiden who are debuffs as well. So strength, ally protection, and debuffs are going to be your most important things for early mid game. A great haul. I've heard you want to always increase accuracy first. How do you increase accuracy? You get these arena medals, which are won in the arena, which is why it's important to do your arena battles. really just focus on getting these and just upgrading. I've seen accuracy, right? I've heard always upgrade accuracy first, starting with the magic affinity, because that's what your champion is. Your champion starts on the magic affinity, so you want to upgrade that one first. That's what I've heard. Then you want to go defense and crit damage, because those are more widespread. Everybody needs defense. Everybody can critical hit, so it doesn't matter what they are. It's just going to be helpful to get those first. And then you can go HP, because again, same thing. Everybody has HP. And resistance, and then attack is last, because not many champions in the game actually rely on attack damage. Some rely on other methods of damaging, but attack is going to be the least efficient thing for you. So you can focus on attack last, but accuracy, defense, critical damage, HP, resistance, attack. That's what I've heard. Don't shoot the messenger. Tip number 10, use speed boots. Speed is super important because, like we were talking about earlier, speed lets you move first. So any boots that you can get that have speed, that main attack buff on the artifact, or the main buff on the artifact, that's what you're going to want to go for. Speed is super important because it'll make sure you attack as often as possible. And then any other artifacts that have speed, roll up to see if you can get them on speed as well. And what do I mean by roll up? It's basically like, when you increase them, you get new bonus substats. So you can increase boots and you could get that speed substat. You could also add speed glyphs to them when you're enchanting. We'll talk about where to get glyphs in a minute. Reworking, you can use chaos ores, or you can use ores on certain artifacts. But obviously, again, see how this is a legendary ore that I have. Similar to tomes, legendaries on legendaries. Same thing. And then ascend, you don't unlock until 38, so we don't need to worry about that. Tip number 11, while we're on artifacts, is look at the stats of your artifacts. Speed will always be a flat stat, so speed, good. Percentage is preferred for other categories. You want to add your best attributes with high percentage versus just flat stats increase. So what do I mean by that? So this is attack percentage. So as my attack increases, the attack percentage, if my attack's stronger, the percentage makes it bigger than just a flat stat would. So percentage is really good on other things. And then don't spend your silver on mediocre artifacts. You always need silver, so just be mindful of your silver. In terms of mediocre artifacts, what do I mean? These common ones, don't spend your silver and resources into upgrading this. Try to get epics or legendaries or even rares. Those are just much more effective than commons. Like, obviously, if you can get other ones, then great, do that. But yeah, focus on the higher level artifacts. Tip number 12 is going to be champion farming. So like I mentioned earlier, you should focus on your upgrading your starting champion. And in order to do that, find a level you can easily beat and put your starting level champion in the front, and then lower champions around like this. So if we come over here, and let me just go here, then I will go to this level, for example. Sure. So I'm working on getting my food increased, right? We talked about food. So these guys are all levels. These are all going to be food for things. So you just run through, go through, and once the round ends, you'll get XP on each, even if they go down. So this guy went down, he's still going to get XP. Doesn't matter if they go down. So this way you can continuously rank up your main champion as you're progressing through the campaign. So like I said, focus on just clearing out the campaign, getting those rewards early on, so that way you can just start getting those extra resources and completing other missions and quests, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And this guy's just on protect. He's a Templar. And there he goes. All right, so as you can see here, oh, we did get Templar. I have so many of these things. Level up here, great. I'm feeding my food. I'm priming them to be absorbed into Elhain at some point, or into fusions, which we'll talk about fusions in a little bit also. So that's campaign farming and everything like that. Tip number 13, while we're talking about the campaign, focus on lifesteal and speed artifacts from the campaign, because this will help you progress early on very quickly. Speed artifacts, two sets. If you have multiple speed artifacts on your champion, it'll give them that set bonus. So That's going to be super important because, like we talked about, speed, very important. And then also lifesteal, force that heals about 30% of damage dealt. So this will just help keep your nuker and units alive a lot longer if you have 4 artifacts from the lifesteal set on. And so definitely getting boots of speed with lifesteal, very important, very good. Gloves with the crit rate, very good. It's lifesteal, the accuracy or HP, attack, defense, very good. Same thing with the shield, defense, very good. Helmet, very good. Weapon, you can get the attack on there. But most importantly, boots with speed and gloves with crit rate, gauntlets, whatever, super, super important. So those would be what I recommend, is getting speed and lifesteal. I think those are going to be your best friends with that. Tip number 14. This is more of a niche tip, but if you do spend money, this is what I heard. Do not buy faction accessories or artifacts. You can get those elsewhere, and you don't see the stats of it. So from what I've seen, some of these things, do we have any in the shop now? It doesn't look like there are any in the shop right now. Here we go. So this one. If you're going to buy this, look, you can't even see what these stats are. It just tells you what it is. So I've heard, don't buy it. Do not buy accessories. Do not buy artifacts. None of that stuff. That's just what I've heard. Ones that give rewards over time for energy or gems seem to be the best offers. So that'll be things like the mini mix pack. So like right here, full energy, you can select a bunch of these. You can match these. Full energy, great. Anything with gems, also great. This shard triple, where it's like you can get this. If you buy this, you get this, you get this, and you get that if you spend a little extra. But these ones where it's just like you can get this, this, and this, those are decent. And obviously, depending on what you want to do, the pack strength, same thing here. Buy this. Look at this. $5 for 1.6 million silver. Always need silver. 75 gems, pretty solid. 100 gems, 3.3 million silver, pretty solid. 5 million gems, or 5 million silver, 200 gems, pretty solid. So like these kind of chain offers like this for $5 might be worth it if you're a small spender, or if you're looking at things. So those are the kinds of things that I've heard you should buy. While we're talking about gems, tip number 15, free gems. Unlock the mine. That's what I've heard. Focus on getting the mine upgraded. It literally gives you free gems over time. So like, why would you not do it? It's one of those things. So right now my level is 2 out of 3. I produce 1 gem every about 2.5 hours, and it takes about a day to fill up. And then once I get it to level 3, it'll be 1 gem about every 1.5 hours. So it goes down about an hour, and the capacity is 15. So it increases that. So I've heard, focus on that. Pretty important. Also heard that you can buy masteries with gems for your starter champion. So I did not do this. Maybe I will regret not doing it. But if I come over here and I come over to masteries and I go here, I can actually, if I click this, I can just get all scrolls for 800 gems, and that's it. And look at this, unlock all this champion's masteries all the way up to rank 6. Champions still need to be the required rank when unlocking scrolls masteries. So basically, you can use these gems. So once you get your starter champion to rank 6 and you fully max them out, that is when you want to unlock all the masteries with it. So you don't really need to worry about that until you get your starter to level 6, rank 6. But that's a good thing to note, and that's something I've heard is pretty valuable to spend your gems on if you have them. Unlock the sparring pit to get more free XP for your champion. So in the Guardian Ring, here's the sparring pit. You can unlock these slots here. You can upgrade the slots, so that way it increases like in increments of levels. So right now it just goes up 1 level at a time. You can do that, and sometimes it takes some time. So I just throw a champion in there and then just let them sit there, and just while I'm focusing on other things, this one is just upgrading. So if you have extra gems, I've heard this is pretty good to use as well. After all that, masteries, again, for other champions is really good. Shards during event bonuses. Sometimes there would be like shards you can get for some gems. Those are good to use. And then XP boost if you know you'll be playing a lot. If you have 0 XP boost and you're like, I have all weekend free, maybe you buy 3 days of XP boost with gems and you just grind hardcore. Or energy refills. You can do that. 40 gems to fill your energy. I guess it depends on how much energy you really need at that point. So I was just talking about masteries. So let's talk about which masteries you want to get. That's tip number 16. So this is what I've heard for offensive. You want War Master, which is Helm Smasher. This is a good one too. This is good for dungeon waves or arena because it has 50% chance of ignoring 25% of the target's defense. And for skills that ignore defense, this 25% is in addition to the amount ignored. So pretty solid there. That's a good one. Here's War Master, 60% chance. Then we have Giant Slayer right here, which is very solid. This is on champions on 3 or more. So if their attack 1, if their first attack hits 3 or more units, that's where you want Giant Slayer. Very solid. And then Flawless Execution. This is primarily used against bosses because it increases the critical damage. You can get a lot of damage off onto bosses like that. Let's see. Where's Bulwark? Bulwark is really good on the defensive side. Decreases damage all allies receive by 5%, and this champion will receive that damage instead. So that's like really good for a defensive-based heavy HP. Kind of use that on a big tank. And then same thing with Selfless Defender. Where's that one? Selfless Defender. Where are you? There it is. Decreases the damage an ally receives from the first enemy hit in each round by 20%. This champion will receive that damage instead. You want to put that one on like a big tank. Retribution's also really good. 50% chance to counterattack with this champion. When this champion loses 25% of their max HP from a single enemy skill. So really good if you know you're going up against heavy hitters. That's a great one to have. Eagle Eye, Sniper, or where's Eagle Eye? Eagle Eye, here we go. Eagle Eye increases accuracy 50%. This is a support. Sniper is also really good. Increases the chances of placing any debuffs from skills and artifacts. So this will not increase chances of placing like stun, sleep, freeze, all that good stuff. But still very, very solid. What else was there? We have Master Hexer. This is a really good one. 30% chance to extend debuffs and everything like that. Lasting Gifts, this one's also very good. It has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any buffs cast by this champion by 1 turn. So those are some of the things that I've heard. Take notes of these. And also, you don't have to just copy masteries blatantly. Like, you don't have to put everything I said on those. But, like, I mean, like, obviously, on a defender, you're not going to be focusing on offense, right? Like, you're going to be focusing on things like Iron Skin and Bulwark and Unshakable and where is it? Retribution, and then also Selfless Defender. So it's like you don't have to just copy those verbatim, but that's just kind of like a good guide on how to do it. So yeah, that's going to be that. Tip number 17. We kind of went over this, but like attack orders and everything like that when we're talking about like arena and stuff. Revive goes to the right for the res. So you want your support, like main support, in the back because it'll just go to the right. So it'll prioritize doing that. So if any of these die in whatever order, the revive is going to go to the right of it in whatever order that is. So you always want to put like your reviver or support like in the last spot. And like we said, with 5 units, let me go back to the spider den. It'll go like this. So if I click here, it'll go, here's the front. This is the order, then top, bottom, So that'll be that. Tip number 18, shards. Stock up on those shards. When it comes to the market, it comes here. Don't really buy equipment or artifacts. I just buy shards. because why not? You always need shards for food and everything like that. I have 160 mystery shards. I have 75 out of 110 champion slots filled. You can buy more with silver. Probably recommend if you do. Log in daily to make sure you get all the shards, and then wait to pull your shards for double time events. They will increase your chances. So normally this is what the chances look like during double time events. I believe it mostly impacts just epic and legendaries. Rare doesn't really do much for those. So with the mystery shards, just go ahead and spin those, because those are mainly just mystery shards are mainly just going to give you food and everything like that. So capitalize on doing those, but make sure you get as many shards as you possibly can. Tip number 19, take advantage of events if you can. It's free stuff and it's aligned with what you're working towards. So what do I mean by events? It's like any of these news events, like the fragment events, do that. Awakening boost, 2/10 summoning perfect souls, do that. Speedrun, whatever is coming, just do that. Okay, and this will kind of go inside with missions. Missions, I literally just found this today, and now I'm just working towards doing this. You can see I've completed missions that I don't even have unlocked yet. Like if I go all the way to the end, I completed the last 2 missions, and I haven't done these missions yet. So super important to just go through, do these missions, because you can get some good stuff. Look at this, 300 gems, a sacred shard, legendary skill tomes. Arbiter, I've heard Arbiter is a fantastic hero a champion to have, and she's a legendary. So why would you not do these things that literally gets you a free champion? Like that is just a no-brainer. So definitely do those, super important. And then you can do, once you unlock Arbiter, you get Ramatsu, and then Marius, same thing, you have to unlock. But do those. Quests, same thing. Do your dailies. Already did mine. Do your weekly quests. Do your monthly quests. When you get to level 35, do your advanced quests. Just literally do every quest that you can do to maximize your rewards and make the most out of the game. Same thing with the challenges. Champion challenge, artifact challenge, dungeon challenge, arena challenge. Whatever you can do all these challenges, because you're going to get, and look at this, rare skill tome. Ancient shard. Huge. 100 gems, even better. Cool. Make sure you do your challenges, do your events, participate in events as much as you can. Get that. Number 20, don't feel pressured to spend money. There's going to be a lot of pop-ups that you'll see in this game. Don't feel pressured to spend money. I plan on keeping my account fairly free to play. I might buy a couple things here and there if it's like really good value, just to provide you guys with some content. But as I'm recording this video, haven't spent a single dollar. I don't know if I plan to, for the time being at least. I want to try to see how far I can get as a free-to-play player. I know there's a content creator, Bozar, who's completely free-to-play, and he's like endgame. He's got a lot of stuff, which is super cool, super inspiring, because it goes to show that you can do this. And I kind of just want to see what it takes. It's more fun, like progressing through. If I'm at a like pigeonhole, then maybe I'll spend something if I need some content. But you know, for the most part, I'm gonna stay as free to play as possible. So don't do that. Like, you don't really need to. Tip 21 kind of coincides with tip 19. Pay attention to your quests. Make sure you see when these are resetting. So in 5 hours and 23 minutes at the time I'm recording this video, I know I'm gonna get more daily quests. I can log in and get this reward, work towards getting another XP boost for a day, some free XP, because why not? Times 200, great. I gotta do monthly so I can get this void shard, which is gonna be huge. I've already done 12 out of 16. Definitely gotta do this. As you can, I played for 14 days. I have 12 days done. I missed 2 days, so now I'm gonna be 2 days behind from getting the shard. Womp womp, feels bad, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta pay attention. Tip number 22, just a reminder, never, ever, ever use higher quality books on your champion skills. If you have a rare champion, do not use an epic skill tome. Do not use a legendary skill tome. Please do not do that. They are higher rarity because they are harder to come by, which means you don't want to use them on a lower rarity champion. So please don't do that. Tip number 23, mule your artifacts. What do I mean by that? If you have artifacts that you don't want to sell, you can store them on champions. So if you come over here, and I'm looking at, that's a bad example because these are trash artifacts. This one, some of these are pretty solid. Like this is a really good set immortal, HP plus 50%, heals by 3% each turn. He's got 2, so he does have that set on him. So that's what's going to happen. He's going to get that HP plus 15%, and then he's also going to heal by 3% HP every turn. So that's pretty good to have. So I have them stored on a champion, so then that way, when I have all these other artifacts, like I have here, I have only so much space. I have 1,500 space. Theoretically, do I need all these boots? No, I need to sell some. Like, I don't need these, but this way you can farm things, so that way you can hold more artifacts. So use your champions as mules if you are running low on space. Not that you will early game, but it's there if you need it. And tip number 24 is to find a good and active clan. You're going to want to find a good clan to maximize your rewards and participate in clan events like Clan Boss to make a part of your daily routine. If you're looking for a clan, make sure you join mine. It's on screen. It's FFG Nation with the pleb tag, which is just a little fun reference. But that is going to do it for this one. If you found these tips helpful for you as you're going through on your raid journey, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if you've been playing raid for a while, let me know if these tips are accurate or are still accurate, because I've just been kind of accumulating data over the past like year or so and everything like that. So looking forward to continuing the raid journey with y'all. And again, if you're looking for a clan, hit up FFG Nation, and I look forward to seeing you guys in game and on future videos on the channel.